Hello everyone, welcome to the next video in AP Computer Science. So the last video we did two things. We installed BlueJ on your computer, which is a Java environment, and we learned how to show something to the screen, hello world, or the result of a math expression, or whatever. So today what we're going to do is, maybe a lot of you have a Programmable Calculator that you use in school. And what you can do with these is write little programs that solve like the quadratic formula, or the midpoint of a line, or the distance formula between 2 points, or that sort of thing. So I'm going to show you how to do programs like that. Of course, Java is even more powerful than what you get on your calculator. And the language is different, but the idea is the same. A few of the ideas are the same. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So today, at a minimum, we might be able to do more. I'll show you how to program the computer, basically, to calculate the area of a circle. So you probably recall, you just get the radius of the circle, and then you square the radius, multiply that by pi, and that is the area of the circle. So it's a simple formula. But what we need to do is learn two new things today. One is how to ask the user a question. So in this case, you have to ask the user what the radius of the circle is. And the second thing we're going to learn is storing numbers in the computer's memory. Like after you ask the user what the radius is, you need to store it somewhere. We calculate the area and we store that somewhere. And then we show the user what the area is, the result of that calculation. So we're going to learn asking the user questions and storing numbers in memory. And just as a refresher, if you did program these calculators, so what the program looks like in the calculator is you're prompting the user for the value of r. So it shows r question mark to the user and they type in a value. It does a math equation, pi times r squared, and then it stores it in a, in this variable called a, and then it displays a to the user. So we're going to basically do these three same steps written in Java, and I'll show you how that works, and then we'll come back to the board and summarize. All right? Program is basically imagining what it looks like, or documenting what it should look like in the end. So I'm just going to do this in Word. So we want to ask the user a question. So what is the radius of your circle? And then have the user type in something. So let's say they type in 10. And then we'll say the area. The area of your circle is, and then we'll give the answer, which in this case is around 314. So that's what our program should look like when it runs. So I like to start that way so we know what to do. So just put that aside, bring up BlueJ again. So in this case, you can do the same project. Actually, I don't have a project. So new project. Area. Okay. And then hit new class. And you can call it your class area. Okay, and double click on it, and that's going to bring out the template code, as you may recall. Okay, so what you want to do is basically get rid of it for now. Except the class and then the two curly braces. Okay, great. So it should look like that. And then, as you recall, you always need a main method, which is public, static, void, main, string, square brackets, args, left curly brace, right curly brace. And all your code goes in between there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, as you recall, we're going to say to the screen, what is the radius of your circle? So that's what we learned last time. System.out.println. What is the radius of your circle? Okay, so now what has to happen is we need to allow the user to type in their radius. So the way to get input from a user is what we're going to cover right now. So the first thing you need to do is actually you need to borrow code from somewhere else. So there's a thing called the scanner class, and don't ask me why it's called that, but the scanner class is used to read input from the user. It's also used to read input from files and things like that. Before you use the scanner class, because it's from somewhere else, you have to what's called import it. So at the top of your program, you're going to do import java.utilities.scanner. So that will import the scanner class into your program, basically, so you can use it. And that's the full name of the scanner class. It's part of this, what's called a package. So the way to use it is you have to create this will make more sense in future videos, but for now, just bear with me. You have to create a instance of that class, or you have to create an object, a scanner object. And so we will create a scanner object called myScanner. And the way to do that is you say new scanner system.in. Okay, I'm going to breeze over this. I'll explain it more in future videos. But basically, you now have a scanner object of which you can capture something from the user. And the way to capture what the user is saying, if they type in a number, is to use a method called nextDouble. Okay, so what will happen with this command is it's going to wait for the user to type in a number. A double is a kind of number. There are a few different kinds of number. There's a lot of numbers in Java, but there's a few you need to know for the test. But the main one that acts kind of like the numbers on your calculator is called a double. So nextDouble means grab what the user types in. It's going to be a number, and allow me to do something with it. And what you want to do with it is you want to put it into a memory location in Java. And we're going to call that memory location radius. Okay, like in the calculator program, it was called R. In this program, we're going to call it radius, because you can use fuller names. So first you need, when you have a memory location, it's called a variable, and you need to declare the variable first to Java. And the way to declare a variable is to say the type of variable. In this case, it's a double, which is a kind of number. And then you have the name, and the name is radius. Okay, so that creates a storage location. Java will create a storage location of type double, which is a number, and call it radius. And then what you need to do to this line of code is actually set the radius equal to what the user typed in. So the best way to read these assignment lines of code with equals like this, is from right to left. So this is going to read whatever the user types, and it's going to stick it in the radius location in memory. Okay, so that equals is not really like the equals in math. So actually, the symbol that the calculator uses, that arrow, is actually better symbol, because it's not equals at all. It's basically taking whatever's on the right and putting it into the location that is named on the left. Okay, so that is going to put what the user types in into the variable radius. Now we're going to create another variable to store the area. So we're going to do the same thing. It's a number, so we'll call it double. We'll call the variable an area, and we'll say area equals radius times radius times, and we'll just use an approximate for pi. And there's a better way to do that, but good enough for now. And again, what's happening here is this line of code, the way Java does it, is it'll take the right side of the equation first, and it'll evaluate it. It'll take whatever it's in radius, multiply by itself, multiply by 3.14, and come up with a number. And it's going to take that number and stick it in the storage location for this named area. And then our final task is to just show the user the area. So we first show a sentence first. The area of your circle is, and then we show the number. And the way to show a number, the way to show a value of a variable is you just put the variable between the parentheses. So if this was in quotes, it would say the word area, but since it's not in quotes, what Java is going to do, it's going to look in the storage location named area, take the number out of there, and show the number to the user. Okay, let's compile, see how we did. Again, when you compile, you look to the bottom left to see if you got any errors. I got no errors. So close, right click, left click on void main, hit OK. Here we have a program. What is the area of your circle? So we'll type in 10. And it came back with the area of your circle is 314, which is good. That's what the program did. So the only problem you may recall is, you see, we wanted the numbers to be on the same line as the rest of the sentence, and in our case, the numbers went to the next line. So I'll show you how to fix that. So if you go back to your code, there's actually two methods you need to know from system.out. One is print line, and the other is print. And I'm just going to change this to print. What print does is it just writes out this text, and it leaves the cursor at the end of the line. And so, whatever comes next will actually happen on the very same line. So, and what print line does is it shows the text, and then it does a new line, basically. So whatever will happen next will happen on the next line. So it's almost print and a line, basically, or print and a line return. Or print and enter, or however you think about it. So if we just do print there, then the user will be able to type their number on the same line. The user is going to hit enter, so it's going to go to the next line anyway after their number. So then you go down here, and we want the area of the circle is, and we don't actually want to do a line yet. So just print that out, leave the cursor at the end, and then here you can do a print line, and that'll print that area on the same line as this because of that print. So let's try that and confirm that it worked. Right click, void main. Okay. Okay. All right, now that's better. You see the cursor here is on the same line, so we do 10. And then it says the area on the same line. Okay, so that's exactly what we wanted. It matches our original specification, so to speak, in our Word document. So I think we're good. So let's go back to the chalkboard, and I'll just summarize for you. Okay, great. All right, I hope that was fun. Now you have a program that will calculate area, and it's not too difficult once you learn that to write programs that will calculate midpoints or quadratic formula or other sorts of things. In fact, haven't decided what I'll do with the next video, but we'll probably do something like it, like the quadratic formula, to show you a couple other tricks. But anyway, just to go through some of the vocabulary we went through in that coding exercise. So the first was this import command that you saw we had to put first, and that's when you're using somebody else's code, like the scanner code, to ask the user a question. You have to import it first so you can refer to it, so Java knows you're going to use it. The second thing is declaring a variable. So basically, you're telling Java that you need, it's almost like a box. You know, Java will create a box called radius. The box has a name, which is radius. It has a type, so this was double, which is a kind of number. And basically Java gets it ready, allocates that storage in memory, and gets it ready to put stuff in. So basically creates a box for you. The second was assigning a variable. So this is taking an actual value and putting it in the box. So that was that equal sign. So declaring a variable was like saying the type of the variable and the name of the variable, and that's it. It's declared. Assigning a variable, what you do is you use the equal sign, and on the right side is the expression, which will turn into a value. So like calculating the area. Then there's the equal sign if you read it right to left, and then on the left is the variable name. So this will take whatever it calculates on the right and stick it in the box called area. So that's assigning a value to a variable. The next thing we learned, or not in a particular order, was how to ask the user a question. You're using a scanner object. We called it myScanner.nextDouble. So that asks the user for a double, basically for a number. So the user can type in a number, and you can grab that and stick it in memory and do things with it, as you saw we did. And the last thing I showed you, system.out.print, as distinguished from print line. So with print, it just prints out to the screen what you tell it, and then leaves the cursor where it is. And what print line does is it prints out to the screen what you tell it, and then it goes to the next line, and then it's done. So that's what the LN means. So, but print is very useful as well, and I know they have the distinction on the computer science test. So the AP test, you need to know the difference there. So I hope that was helpful. The code, if you need it, or if you can't figure out any syntax errors that you have, should be linked at the bottom of the video if you need that. And that's it. Hope that was useful, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.